Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Naomi Rook. If you are brand new to my channel, consider subscribing. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Also, make sure to ring the notification bell so you can be notified anytime I do upload a video. Today, what I'm going to do is a review and demo of the Zara Soft Matte Foundation. I have heard about this all over TikTok. I wanted to try it out. It comes in a really nice little white box with the resin letters. I got this in the color N913. I got it in my summer shade just because I do have dry skin. So anything that is matte, I don't normally wear during the winter. So I got it a little bit of darker shade. So this is the Limitless Soft Matte Foundation. It retails for $19.90. There are 49 shades. That is incredible. That's such a great shade range. I love on the website, it is categorized in light, light medium, medium, medium deep, dark. So it makes it a lot easier to figure it out. I did get 913, which is in the light into medium. It is a neutral undertone. It is about 8 in the shade range. So it really does have quite a large shade range. They go very deep to very, very pale, which I really do like that. I did notice this foundation does oxidize just a little bit. I would highly suggest probably going down a shade just so it, once it does oxidize, it's not too dark. I did have to manipulate the foundation today. I used my LA Girl Pro pigments. I have the white and the blue just to tone it down a little bit for my skin tone right now, but I think I did a pretty good job matching with my neck. I did kind of bronze up my neck just a little bit, but I did do a good job matching it. I'm going to read the description of the foundation. It says a light foundation, long lasting, and supply with a soft matte finish, which is the reason I wanted to try it. I don't normally go for matte foundations, but a soft matte foundation sounded really nice, especially for the summertime, for maybe a special event or a long wear all day long. I want to see if it's going to last. Its formula lasts 12 hours and helps control shine for a faultless look. Available in 51 shades to adapt to any skin tone and undertone. So if you'd like to see how this foundation applies, I do have on one side a sponge, on one side a brush, so you can kind of see the difference. I really love the coverage that I got from this foundation. So if you'd like to see how it applies and then my thoughts at the end of the video, then go ahead and keep watching and let's get her done. I'm going to go ahead and prime my face. I want to use something that's not going to be luminizing but going to be hydrating because it is a matte foundation. So I definitely want to make sure that my skin is hydrated underneath. It doesn't look super heavy because I do have drier skin. Normally I kind of steer clear of matte foundations, but it is a soft matte foundation, and during the summer sometimes I do feel like a matte foundation would work for like special events or long wear. So I'm going to go ahead and go in with my Touch in Sol No Problem Priming Essence. This is a very, very hydrating essence. It doesn't really do much for anything else. It's not long wearing or luminizing, doesn't fill in pores, so I'll be able to really see how the foundation looks on my skin. This is going to add a really great amount of hydration. That way I know my skin's prepped and it's not going to look super dry, hopefully. So I did pick this up in N913. It is a neutral undertone and it's kind of middle of the road of all the colors. It is going to be my summer shade. I don't normally wear matte foundations ever during the winter because I do have such dry skin, so I did end up getting it in my summer shade. It's definitely too dark for me right now. I'm going to add some of my LA Girl Pro pigments. First thing I want to do though is see if it oxidizes. So there is the color, definitely a little bit too dark. It's not too bad. I think I can probably manipulate it with my Pro pigments, but there it is. I'm going to let that sit down and dry down on my skin, and then I'm going to apply another kind of swatch of it, but fresh, just to see if it's going to oxidize on your skin. All right, so the one has pretty well dried on my hand, so I'm going to apply another one that's more wet. So it definitely oxidizes. You can tell that this one, which is wet, is a lot lighter than this one that is dark. So it definitely does oxidize quite a bit, really. So I'm glad I tested that out. I would highly suggest with this foundation definitely going down a shade because it does oxidize quite considerably. So what I'm going to do is just pump it on the back of my hand. I'm going to mix in my white LA Girl Pro mixing pigment. If you haven't heard of those, I wear them all the time. They are really great for helping me neutralize or lighten the foundation that I'm using, so I can use the foundations I pick out year round, whether I have a tan or I'm super pale. So I added some white. I'm going to add just a little bit of blue. I've only tried this foundation one other time, so I really don't have any preconceived notions of how it's going to work or wear or look on my skin. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it there. That looks pretty close, still a little bit dark, but not too bad. I just apply what's on the brush. And then this side I am going to do a sponge. I'm going to take a little bit with my sponge and just apply that to my cheeks. It definitely has pretty full coverage. That side versus no foundation has really good coverage. I think I did pretty good. It's definitely a little bit too yellow, but that's not a big deal. I'm going to go ahead and zoom you in just a little bit so you can see it up close. So there is one side fully covered, and then there is no foundation. It looks really nice. So I think on the other side, I'm going to go in with a brush. I'm going to use my Delamy Tools, and this is my Golden Triangle 957 Precision Kabuki. I'm just going to apply that because I just want to see if it looks any different with a brush and if it has more coverage. I'm not noticing any difference with the coverage. I'm not noticing any difference up close with how they look on my skin. I don't see anything shinier or more coverage or anything like that. So I do like probably both applications. I prefer a sponge just because it feels nice and cooling on the skin, but they look the exact same and had really the same amount of coverage, which is, I would say, definitely full high coverage. It doesn't look bad up on the skin or anything. It doesn't look drying. It actually looks pretty good for a matte foundation, especially with me having more drier skin. I do like how it looks. So what I'm going to do is hop off. I'm going to finish the rest of my makeup, and then I'm going to come back and show you everything finished and how the makeup looks on top of it. I would definitely say, because this is a matte, more dry down foundation, I'm probably not going to use any creams or liquids. I've noticed that with creams and liquids, they don't really mesh well with full coverage matte foundation. So I'm going to go ahead and just do powder everything else. I'm going to hop off, come right back, and show you the finished result. Alright, so there is the finished makeup. Let me go over all the other products that I have on my face. So for concealer, I have the XX Revolution Concealer. This is in CX1. This is a new concealer I've been testing out a lot. And then for my powder combination, I do my Kossas Cloud Set and my Jacklyn Brightening Powder. I love that combination so much. For the highlighter and glow that you see, this is the Flower Cosmetics Shimmer and Strobe Highlighting Palette. For bronzer, I have the Colourpop Beach Please Powder Bronzer. I have the Catrice Sungasm on top of that. And then for blush, I have the Essence Bespoke Blush. My lip combination is so pretty. This is Colourpop Beeper, my favorite liner, and then Jacklyn Cosmetics. This is Momma. I really love the color of that. I think it's super pretty. So let's go over some of my thoughts of this foundation. Up close, it looks nice. There are some places it looks a little heavy right by my nose, kind of settling a little bit into my smile lines, but not bad. I really love the amount of coverage it gives me. It is like full coverage. It doesn't look too heavy or too cakey. I could have used a more luminous setting spray. I did use a matte setting spray just because I wanted just to keep the matte and see how long it lasts, just so I could kind of see how it wears all day long, even though I do have dry skin. But so far, I really do like how it looks. It's not bad, and even the cakiness I'm talking about is really minimal. I went ahead and zoomed you in so you could look up close at this foundation. The coverage is just so incredible. I'm really curious to know how this is going to wear, if it's going to get drier or if it's going to start kind of aging my skin just a little bit. I am really excited about this foundation. It's really inexpensive. So far I'm really liking this. I am going to do a check-in here in a couple hours. Right now it is 9:03. I'm going to give it till, you know, probably 4 or 5 this evening and then do a check-in, so you can see how it wears on my skin, how it lasts, if it's going to last all day. It's supposed to be a long wear foundation. I'm really excited about this. I'm very excited for the summertime to see how it's going to work when I start getting a little hot and oily, just to see if it'll last all day for like a special occasion makeup. So I will see you in just a couple hours for my check-in. Alright, so I wanted to show you the foundation in the sunlight. So I'm going to zoom up pretty close so you can see it's a little cakey there, but not bad. Zoomed out, it looks really pretty nice. Nothing disturbed the foundation, so the bronzer, the blush, the highlighter didn't disturb it. I did only use powder because I do think liquids or creams would definitely disturb the foundation, but honestly, up close, it looks really nice. I mean, you see texture, but your skin has texture. It didn't really go into my smile lines a whole lot, maybe just a little bit. But I really like it. I'm pretty excited about it so far. I definitely want to see how it's going to wear, if it's going to kind of settle into my skin, or sometimes matte foundations can get a little bit more dry as you wear it. So I'm very curious to see how this is going to wear. So I'm going to go ahead and hop off, do my day, and I will be back in just a few hours. Alright, so it is 6:30 now. It has been 9 hours. I am pretty sad to report that it did not wear very good at all. I find myself kind of oily in places, which is so weird for me. I'm never oily, so I feel like some places it's oily, Other places it's worn away pretty weird. It looks a little heavy and cakey, but then like down here it's kind of almost all faded a little bit. Zoomed you in, so like down here it's faded, and then right here it looks pretty oily, which is kind of weird. My forehead looks kind of oily and cakey. It didn't wear very good, and honestly I noticed some breakup probably about the 6-hour mark, really around my nose area. And I didn't do anything more than I normally did. I didn't nap or anything, and I wasn't messing with my face. So far, my initial thoughts is I just don't think it wears very nice. It looks really good initially, but honestly, after about 5 hours, it started looking kind of cruddy, really heavy right here, and oily, which is really weird because it's supposed to be a full coverage matte foundation, long wearing, and I have dry skin, but it got really pretty oily on me, which is weird. I did not touch up my face. I didn't powder or anything like that. Honestly, like what I would probably do is blot myself. I think that's what oily people do. So I'd probably blot myself and then apply a little more powder right here. But honestly, I just don't think it looks great. There are definitely other foundations I prefer. Maybe if I had put on a primer that was a little more pore filling, smoothing, that might help. Maybe if I had used my Morphe setting spray. But honestly, I want a foundation that's going to look good even if I don't have other things aligned with it to look good. Like the most of the foundations I really like, they look good just on their own. And then if I use that Morphe setting spray on top, it makes it look even better. But they're on their own just a good product, and I don't find that this one is so far. I could be wrong, and it might be one of my favorites. I'll continue to wear it, but my initial first thoughts on this foundation is I just don't think it's worth it. It looks really beautiful right off the bat, had incredible coverage, but it does not wear very nice, and I have dry skin, so I can't imagine how this would wear on someone who has oily skin. Definitely would not be a oily skin friendly type foundation because it's made me quite oily. If you can, I mean, you can see my forehead and like right here, I didn't apply any type of hydrating anything, so it just didn't wear very nicely on me. So hopefully this was helpful and you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and I will just catch you on the next video. Bye guys.